Resident Evil 3. Oh boy. So I'm currently on the journey to play through most of the Resident Evil games for the first time. I just completed 3 and 2, and I'm currently working on 4. Now, if you haven't seen my last video on Resident Evil 2, I can't blame you. That video only got like 20 views. But today we're going to be talking about Resident Evil 3. And as I was trying to write my script for this game, I found a lot more negatives than I did in my Resident Evil 2 video. But there also are a lot of things that I liked about the game, and here is my opinions on it. Now, for stuff that I actually did enjoy about the game, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I found Jill and Carlos especially to be more entertaining than Leon and Claire were in Resident Evil 2. I actually enjoyed their characters a lot more, and I think before I would say Claire was probably my favorite character, but now it's Carlos. Carlos is super cool, and I love the sections I got to play as him. And Jill is also second too. Like, I feel like they just had more character. I know I didn't play Resident Evil 1, and I know Jill was in that game, but what I got from Jill in Resident Evil 3, it was really good, and I actually enjoyed that about the game. The intro sequence into the game was, in my opinion, a little better than the intro to Resident Evil 2. Now, I get why the intro to Resident Evil 2 was a bit slower, because like I know a lot of people are starting the franchise with Resident Evil 2, so it's a bit more slower and scary, and I enjoyed that. But the intro for Resident Evil 3, it's like you immediately into the fray. There's like little exposition, and you're already getting chased through alleyways, and I think things escalated very fast, which I think was a good thing in my opinion. I loved the action, the visuals of the city and everything. That was amazing. I really enjoyed that. Now, this one was a bit tricky. I couldn't really decide whether I did like or dislike Nemesis in this game. I definitely think Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 had a bit more, aura, if that makes any sense. But Nemesis was genuinely scary. Like, the way that he grabs Jill through busts through the dang wall and grabs Jill is it shocked me when I first played. It's incredible. And then the fact that you have to fight him 4 freaking times, it's kind of over exaggerated. It's we keep beating him and he just keeps coming back. But this guy was legit sprinting at me, and I was so used to Mr. X just slow walking. No, this guy was straight up sprinting. It was crazy, and he just pulls out a random gun or something every single fight. Oh my god. But I do think it did get a bit repetitive by the 3rd battle fighting this dude, but it was still pretty awesome to see him. For things I didn't really stick with, I would definitely say the villain. I don't even remember his name. I think it was Nicholas. I'm definitely gonna edit it in if I got it wrong, but we barely interact with this dude throughout the game. And I mean, the game is on the shorter side, but that also didn't really help building up the main villain. I feel like his aspirations, what was it, just to get combat data and get out of there? I think that's literally it. He didn't really care about the people there. He just wanted the data. But it's also he took the vaccine from Jill so that the city would explode and he got to escape. But if he had just let Jill keep the vaccine, I think he would have still been able to escape with the combat data. I don't understand. I might be confusing stuff. I might be getting stuff wrong, but I don't understand. Oh, yes, the locations were forgettable as ish, bro. The first area, like, visually, it was pretty good, but it was not no police station. Like, we leave it pretty early on into the game. We're only there for like an hour and change. And felt a bit small compared to police station from Resident Evil 2, but I digress. The other places, I think we went into the sewers. I'm remembering this off the top of my head. We went to the sewers. We fought those freaking those monsters were genuinely disgusting. Like, in a good way. I am terrified of birds. And if you've ever seen a bird without any feathers, that is nightmare fuel for me. And these sewer monsters had those freaking chicken arms. That was nasty. That was nasty. The sewer portions was very brief. Then we actually get to see the police station from Resident Evil 2 when we play as Carlos, which is one of my favorite parts in the game. I think they just completely mastered the design of the police station. It was still as terrifying as it was in RE2. We didn't get to go as much places, but because we had like a set path to go to, but it was still really good to see it again. And then, you know, the hospital with those freaking monster thingies. I'm also very forgettable. Like, I honestly, the most memorable part was defending Jill at the end of that section. But another brief location. And I actually think the labs, because I feel like that's going to be a running thing with these games. Like, it always ends up in a lab. The lab portion was probably the best portion. Everything about it was perfectly done. I will always enjoy the lab sections in these games. Every other location, though, it just felt a bit dry. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really remember them that much. This might have been my biggest mistake. I already said this. I played Resident Evil 2 and I was so confident. Like, when I did clear, I beat it in half the time it took for me to beat Leon. So I was like, if this game's any similar, I might have to turn it on hard mode. That was the worst decision I've ever made. I ended up dying, I think it was 47 times. I don't know if that's a lot for a lot of people, but that was more than I died in both Leon and Claire's campaign combined. And I think 30 out of those 40 deaths were from the third Nemesis fight. I died so much times. Like, if you came onto my stream and I was in that portion, I was there for like almost an hour and I would just be dying over and over again. Like, I would be getting a little bit farther and then I would die. And Carlos would be like,
I think he's on his last legs.
And then, like, it would take 20 full shot shotgun blast to kill it. Like, that does not... I would proceed to get murdered and murdered and murdered over and over again until I finally beat it. And honestly, the final fight was easier than that third fight. I don't know what... I might have just been bad. Also, the zombies that they spawn in the middle, I don't know if Carlos was spawning them or if they were just coming. I did not interact with them at all. I just used them as bait for Nemesis just to stall time. And also, another thing about hard mode, I was critical health and danger health like 90% of the run. I had no heals. I had just no ammo. I had ammo. I just didn't have any heals. And this isn't anything. This is just like my personal experience. It has nothing to do with the game at all. I think if I had just did it in standard mode, I would have enjoyed it much better. This is honestly just me ranting about me being stupid on doing that. But yeah, I should have not done hard mode. But also, I think I would have beat the game very fast if I didn't. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, you know? I get more time on the game, but the gameplay is just frustrating. Speaking of the length of the game, I did know going into it, a lot of people thought that it was short, and I didn't think it was this short. I think it might have been like 4 or 5 hours for this one campaign, and as I mentioned before, I was dying a lot. If I had played on standard mode, I might have been able to beat the game in one stream. I think it was ridiculously short, and I did hear that it changed a lot from the original game. I didn't play the original game. This is my first experience with it. But if the original game was much longer, then I could actually understand the complaints about it. It was really short. I think that might be the biggest thing about the game, is that it was just not long at all. My final rating of the game. Now, I usually do ratings. I did my RE2 rating, and I gave it a 10 out of 10. Even though it had some flaws, the flaws are very minor. I still won't really dock it off the game. I would give this game a 6.5. Now, for my ratings, that might sound bad, but I mean, in my head, everything, like, a 5 is neutral, like, the bad and the good outweigh, or like, they're both equal. Everything below a 5 is that I disliked most of the game, and everything above a 5 is that I liked most of the game. And a 6 is I genuinely liked most of like a good majority of the game I enjoyed. It was just some parts of the game, the hard mode, again, I'm telling you, my rating would definitely change if I did not play on hard mode. That is completely me. But also, there is one level, like, in my script, I was going to talk about one level with the bugs and you have to turn on the generators, because that took me a while, too. I didn't really feel that it was fair to talk about it in a whole section. I was just going to leave that for the rating. But that was one of the most annoying levels within the entire game franchise so far. I've only played 2 games, so take my word with a bit of salt. Is that what people say? But but take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. My opinions here. That one level was very annoying, but I still enjoy. Like, would I replay this game on standard? Definitely, and it would probably go up to like a 7 or 7.5. But it isn't that perfect range that Resident Evil 2 had. I definitely am excited for Resident Evil 4 though, and during this recording I've done like a total of like 3 streams. I'm like at chapter 7. I don't know how far that is within the span of the game, but I am really enjoying the game so far. So stay tuned for a Resident Evil 4 video coming soon, and make sure you follow me on Twitch and TikTok. I'm trying to get this to reach more people, and I think a lot of people would enjoy this. And also, if you want other game franchises, because I like playing story games. I have an Xbox though, so I can't play anything like God of War and stuff. But I like to play story games like Borderlands and Persona. I love Persona. So if you want me to play games like that or do challenge runs in games like that, just let me know in the comments. I would love to play for you guys. But as always, don't forget to smile.